Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another video. We had some news yesterday on summoning events that apparently were wrong. So we don't have the big void summon going on today. It was actually Valhalla and Entervold instead of the other guy, the Hydra guy from the Shadowkin. So there's that. But that was a mistake by the community coordinators rather than us creators just posting those news. We have more news coming in for tomorrow and Wednesday. I wanted to quickly cover that and just remind you guys on how this is the norm basically for Raid. I've been covering this game since forever, and this is what they've, taken the game into. It's like never ending summoning events, prism summons. We're gonna have probably soon enough. We're gonna have events for summons through to get souls. It's everything related around champions basically, and trying to get as many champions as possible. This is rated in 2024 going into 2025, basically never ending summoning portal with chances for you to pick up champions 2x 15x 10x's, all sorts of different ways for them to monetize the game. One thing though that I'm not too worried about is this basically means that these champions being offered very frequently as progressive, so like 15x, 20x, 25x, means that you don't really have to just rush in to pick up those champions and go crazy on summons. Like we're gonna have Taras, Marichka. You're gonna have the crazy champions that you always wanted available at one point where it's gonna make sense for you to summon. You're gonna be close to the mercy. Hopefully you have some way to keep track of your summons. Maybe you've also reached a point where, okay, I'm picking up my shards as I'm playing the game and I'm picking them up consistently. And the reality is you don't have to summon just because the portal is glowing. So my thoughts are, for the majority of players out there, to keep your shards and try to open them only at specific times. And I think many of you guys out there also skipped the Gretel fusion. I don't know whether that was the right decision for you guys. For me personally, I did go for it on 2 accounts. So I have Gretel on both accounts, and it's something that I went for. It's not going to change any of my accounts, but the reality is I just went for it. So many players out there don't have this sort of an account, obviously, okay? That is another fact of the game. So when summons come up, when summoning events come up, such as this one that is coming in tomorrow, it's going to bring in amazing champions available up again, up for grabs. I'm going to tell you quickly what those champions are going to be, and you guys tell me whether you think of yourself going for them. So for Tuesday, November 12th, there's going to be Eostrid, Thor, Glaycat, Underpriest Brokeny, Raka, and Shujen available. So Raka and Shujen, great Void champions. Raka not so much, comparing her to Shujen. And then from the other legendary champions, I would say that Eostrid and Thor are the top up for grabs champions. Especially if for some reason you didn't pick up Thor, then he will actually be, really impactful for your Hydra teams. Eostrid the same way. Both were fusions. Glaycat, the Meltwater, not so much, but he's proven to be like a huge champion for the Hydra in terms of his ability to support the whole team. He has a revive, increase accuracy, increase defense, and he has a way to increase attack as well, and apply perfect veil, which is now huge for the Hydra when you have that head of torment tormenting you. Really, it just makes sense to have that champion in your team, comparing it to, let's say, Duchess, which provides like a huge utility to the team, since he also provides the ability to do damage when your allies are under a perfect veil. So having that in mind, I think Glaycat is maybe the better alternative to anything else. You can even place him in the leader slot and give extra speed to everybody. So in my eyes, he's just an amazing champion. That is for Tuesday's summons. Honestly, Eostrid is also great. I find that Eostrid, let me just find her 1 second. There we go. She was next to him. So Eostrid is also amazing because you can actually give her like a provoke set if you want to, because she does a big AoE attack, and that can be useful for against the head of decay. Decrease speed weaken are also huge, and then increase speed and increase attack buff is just on top of everything else, just makes total sense to have her be in your Hydra team. Plus the ability to passively heal champions based on turn meter boosting. Just makes sense to add her with other turn meter boosting champions and have an overall healing that couldn't be there. Just have that as sort of a turn meter boosting system. It just works so well, and Illustrated is like an MVP. That is for Tuesday summons. For Wednesday though, they change a little bit with Newt, Mishinagi, Nekmothar, and Kyoku being offered as non-voids, and then Taras Riho as void champion. Taras obviously will be the choice for myself to try and get through with progressive. Very low chances for that. Even if I had like 20-30 shards, it makes like 0 sense for me to summon. But Newt, Mishinaki, Nekmothar, and Kyoku, that is where the real choice comes in for many players to do their summons, okay? So Newt, this is, I think, one of the, if I compare Newt to, let's say, Prince Kaimar, I think these are the top champions that are always, they always seem to be up for grabs. And Newt, I think, is the strongest champion in the game right now because of the utility that he provides. To a new account, you give them a Newt, completely changes the way that they beat bosses. He does a triple hit on a boss, that's 30% of their boss's health. So in terms of a non-void champion that changes your account, Newt becomes so crucial into beating Spider, beating Fire Knight. Even one Newt totally changes your Fire Knight team. You can even do Fire Knight hard with one Newt only. He changes on how you beat the dragon, changes on how you beat even the Ice Column, although the Ice Column it's a little bit impactful on how much damage you'll take. You can use Newt on the Sand Devil, Phantom Shogun, and you can use Newt also, no, not so much for Iron Twins. I wouldn't say Newt for Iron Twins, but he is such a key champion to many teams. So out of the 4 that are offered for tomorrow, for Wednesday, it's Newt, Mishinaki, Nekmothar, and Kyoku. I think Newt is just amazing if you don't have him. If you have one Newt, second Newt is also nice, but not as impactful as, let's say, giving your team a Mishinagi for that. The ability to apply Hex, Mishinagi is just amazing. Let me just show you on like 2 Mishinagis that are on this account. So like give you an example of this guy, Mishinagi, Relentless Stead, 6-star Awakening as well. It just makes so much sense to have him with 100% crit, a lot of crit damage, a lot of speed, a lot of accuracy, so you apply your debuffs, and that allows you to apply Hex, also remove buffs, that allows you to apply decreased defense, decreased attack, HP burn, plus HP burn, again, possibly through passively attacking through his passive. Mishinagi is just an insane champion for both Cloud Boss, can be used for waves, can be used for bosses, and of course can be used for the Hydra. I think Hydra makes the most sense for him if you don't have something along those lines for Hex application and buff removal and all that. Nekmothar is also great. I would say works very well with Eostrid as an example. If you have Eostrid already that I've mentioned earlier, I wouldn't say he's as good as the other 2 champions, but he facilitates in terms of being a support. So there's that for Nekmo. And then we got Kyoku, which I doubt anybody will try to pick her up and use her anywhere, comparing her to the other 3 champions. So these are the summons that we're going to have for this week. Obviously, now that the fusion is ending, or has ended for many players out there, what Prime is going to do, guys, is they're going to do probably some sort of an event or Deck of Fates or something to go alongside this one for her, to give her the Awakening, to give you guys the chance to pick up the Awakening for her. That is usually what drains accounts of whatever remaining resources they have. So obviously, if you didn't go for the fusion, you're not going to go for the soul. If you went for the fusion and somehow you even managed to get handstall, again, handstall soul, if we had the ability to pick it up, that would have been much more impactful in terms of overall damage, because you're going to be pairing those 2 together. If not, if you don't have handstall, then picking up her soul would be way less impactful, honestly. She will, help a ton because of the damage that she'll be adding, but if we have a look at her, I've just summoned her on this account. if you have a look at her, she can apply decreased defense, so that would be nice for her to get, like, let's say a 5-star blessing that will give her extra accuracy. That is needed, that is helpful, but overall it doesn't change so much for the account. So don't go crazy spending on Gretel, especially if you don't have Hansel. So those are my 2 cents for that. Overall, the game has seem to be on not a downtrend, but on a negative trend. And that is not nice, especially coming in for November and December. November, probably they're going to do, Black Friday events and stuff for offers. We've seen them every single year, and this year will no chance be an exception. And you can just stop your spending until Black Friday. Maybe that's going to be a better time for you guys to spend, I would say, if you are a spender. And then for coming in December, we don't know what's going to come yet, but for sure it's going to be some big events, celebrations, and free stuff for all. So we should expect at least that. But until we still have like 2 more months of that. Hopefully until then, they'll fix the Hydra and do some definite decisions that are making sense, because currently they're not really making sense to me as a player, especially with the changes to Hydra. It just makes it more frustrating than anything else. So there's that. That's it for today's video, guys. Just a recap of everything. Hopefully you guys are enjoying still the game and having a fun time, I guess. For me personally, I'm just waiting for the Hydra to get a little bit changed up, because that's where most content really falls within these days in terms of content creation and content creators. Other than that, it's just feels a little bit stale. In terms of content creation, I don't see anybody caring about the Siege anymore, Cursed City. Nobody really cares. A little bit Live Arena, people care a little bit about that, but not too much, I would say. But overall, players are really just focused on the Hydra as being the spot where they want to focus on. So that's it, guys. Thank you all. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.